Hi everyone, thanks for dropping by my YouTube channel today and checking out my final test video on Ed's USSC 5200M Pellet Stove Controller. This is a controller that Ed sent me. It's actually the third one that he sent me, third different one. And this one had a problem with the auger drive being on all the time. So I had a look at it, and sure enough, when I received it, I plugged it onto my tester, and it showed that the auger indicator was on full time. So my tester will power up the controller, and it will also simulate the igniter, the combustion fan, the auger, and the room fan. So let me go ahead and turn it on here, and I'll tell you my next step. So let's turn that on. So my next step is I'm going to wait at least a minute and a half, and I'm going to check the igniter sensor circuitry to make sure it's working correctly. So right now the controller is on, and it's in heat range 1, and technically it's calling for heat, so everything should be happening in your stove. But we see we only have the combustion fan on. Part of the reason for that is because I do not currently have a thermistor connected to the controller, so it thinks the temperature is 0 degrees Fahrenheit, and my switch is open here, and this switch simulates the exhaust fan. So even though I've got the blower running, my switch is telling the controller that I don't have a low pressure zone. So I need to wait a minute and a half before I can proceed to the next test, and that's probably elapsed by now. So let me go ahead and I'll close the exhaust switch, and that will cause the auger to come on and most likely the igniter. And there it is. The auger came on momentarily, and so did the igniter. So I'm going to keep pressing on the switch, and that means the igniter stays on, and we see the auger motor driving on and off, on and off. And I'll release it now, and that will effectively turn off the igniter after a couple seconds. There we go. So now the auger is off, and so is the igniter. And we don't get an error from the controller. That means that everything is right in the controller, that the circuitry is working correctly. So the next step I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to turn off this video, and I'm going to connect a thermistor to the temperature sensing unit, and we'll go from there. So let me go ahead and turn that off. I'll turn off the video. Alright everyone, I'm back. I've reconnected the thermistor that I have to the controller itself, so I'm ready to turn it back on. And we see that had an impact because it turned on the room fan, mostly because the thermistor that I use is not the correct one, and it will read about approximately 175 degrees Fahrenheit, so which is why the room fan was on. So let me go ahead and go into the self-test mode. Press the the lower two keys all at the same time, and that puts us in self-test, where it's telling us that the draft fan is on. We have a little indicator above the draft fan arrow, and we see that the light that simulates the draft fan is also on. If I press any key, we go into the room fan. We see the light above the room fan is on, and so is the room fan indicator, and so is the room fan light. Next one is the igniter, same situation. The auxiliary comes on to tell us the igniter's on. And the auger, the heat range is on, the indicator is telling us we're in the auger, and the auger light is on. So the next step is to go to the hopper, which has no function on this test, and the stat. The stat tells us there's a little green light above the word on. That's because I have the thermostat in the closed position, or calling for heat. That's done because we have a jumper on the thermostat inputs to the controller, and that's the way most of these are, by the way. I'll go on to the next, which tells us the current temperature of the controller that the controller is reading, and that's 170 degrees Fahrenheit. And as I noted, the reason it's telling us this temperature is because the thermistor that I use is not the correct one for this furnace. So if I were to pinch the thermistor in my fingers, we'll see that the temperature will slowly rise up, and I can get it to go above 200. So to me, that's telling me that the temperature sensing circuitry in the controller is working correctly. So that's a good sign as well. On to the next key, 60H, which is 60 Hertz, which is reference to the frequency of the power coming into this building. North America standard is 60 Hertz. And we go into buy mode, so that'll restart the controller. So far so good. We have nice looking displays on it, the USSC, PLLT for pellet configuration, 2.76 for the firmware version, and the controller comes on and we see some of the lights flashing. The last thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a reset to show you the reset feature. So you press the two auxiliary keys at the same time for 3 seconds. So they're pressed, wait for 3 seconds and hold, and it goes into buy mode where it resets the controller and reboots. USSC PLLT version 2.76 and draft fan comes on. There we have it. And if I turn it on, we go back to heat range 1. So, Ed, controller number 3 is up and running again. I want to thank you for sending that to me. I appreciate it very much. For any of you other USSC pellet stove owners, if you're having problems with yours, such as the problem that Ed had here today where the auger was driving full time, or if you have a problem where your display is not reading correctly, or the controller is just simply not coming on, you have motors that are running full time, or the igniter is not working, feel free to contact me. If you check the video description just below this video, you'll find my contact information. And in the meantime, I want to thank you all for watching this video. I appreciate that very much. I hope that you'll take a few seconds to give me a thumbs up, and I hope that you'll subscribe to my channel. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.